Your next task for this course is to take something that you do and convert it into a lesson on Moodle. The lesson tool on Moodle is basically used to create either a linear path where the students would go through a set of activities to get to the end of the lesson, or you could also have the students go off in different directions. Okay, the goal would ultimately be to have the students go in different directions, but just to get a feel for how a lesson is set up, what we're going to do is create one on Moodle. The main objectives for this is to have a lesson that includes some sort of image on one of the pages, a video on one of the pages, and also has some sort of question where you're getting feedback from the students. Okay, so to get started, what we're just going to do is go into whatever section we want to make, okay, and I'm going to just add a lesson. Okay, so this is considered an activity since it's interactive, and I'm just going to click the lesson button here, and I'm going to click add. Then, just like most things on Moodle, what I'm going to do is give it a name, and I'm going to say this is a sample lesson. I can give it a description if I want, and I can once again choose if I want it to appear on the course page. I can choose if I want anything else to appear, if I want a progress bar or anything like that. I can choose how it is graded or how it's available. In this case, I'm just going to let everything go right now. All I want to do is just get the content in there for my lesson. Okay, so I'm going to save and return to course. Once I do that, my sample lesson is going to pop up here. To make changes to it, I'm just going to click on it. And right now there's nothing in here, so it takes me right to the edit mode, and I can add any kind of question, content page, or a cluster of questions, or a question page. Okay, so most of the time we're at least going to start off with a content page. You potentially could start off with a question page if you wanted to get some sort of feedback from students. Then you're required to give a title to it, and that's one of the ways that you can link to different pages. So I'm just going to say this is my beginning slide. Okay, for your page contents, this is anything that's going to appear on the page. Alright, so what I can do is I can click this button here just to show all my options again, but you might show your essential questions or your objectives, or any sort of thing that you'd want to do to start out. You might include some sort of video introduction or something. So once again, if I wanted to add my video, okay, I could basically click this button to get to the HTML coding for the site. Okay. I could just pick a spot where I want to put it. Just keep in mind those P's just show where I hit enter. Alright, so I might want to go underneath where I hit enter, but leave space where I could still type underneath it if I chose. Alright, once again, I'm going back to YouTube or wherever I'm getting my embed code. Alright, I'm just going to choose the embed code. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it so it's there, and then I can click update. I can see that my video's in there. Alright, then underneath here is how you're going to basically navigate through the lesson. These content buttons are basically buttons for wherever the students click, that's where they're going to go. Since this is the first page, I might just say that I'm just going to say start, or I could say next, or whatever I wanted to do. And then from my drop down, I'm just going to choose to go to the next page. When you're making a lesson, what you want to probably do is map out ahead of time what you want this to look like. So you might say, alright, I'm going to start with my essential questions, then I'm going to get into my activating activity, then I'm going to go into my actual lesson, and then do something to summarize what the students did. Alright, I could add other buttons underneath, so later on, like in the next slide, I'll have a back button if I wanted to go back a page or anything like that. Alright, so right now I have that I can jump ahead to the next page, and I'm going to hit save page. Once I do that, I have my first page done, alright, and it's having me go to the next page. So now what I'm going to do is click to add a new page. I have a couple of different options. Okay, a lot of the time we're going to use content pages. Alright, so I'm going to give this for my page title, and I'll say this is some sort of content. So this is content 1. Then I can add whatever content that I want to this. The more interactive you make it with videos or images or links or anything like that, the better it's going to be for the students, and it'll keep them more engaged. In this case, I'm just going to add an image. Alright, so what I'm going to do then is make sure my cursor is on another line or wherever I want my image to be, and then the image button's up here where I can insert or edit image. Alright, I'm going to find or upload an image. If I want to get one from my computer, I can do that. If I want to go back to something that I recently did, I could do that. So I'll just browse one. I'll just find a random image that I have. So just go to my pictures folder, and I'll just use this Animoto logo in this case. And I'm going to upload this file, and then I can change the size of it if I choose, or I can just let it go. I can change where I want it to be aligned to. I can wait and see what it looks like first. So right now I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to hit insert, and then I have my image shows up in there. I can choose if I want to center it or anything like that. Now, since this is the second page, what I might want for my first button is that I might want to have a back button that'll go to the previous page. That way I can navigate through it, and then I might have a next button that's going to go to the next page. Okay. I can also choose to jump to a specific page in the course, where in this case I only have one other one to pick from, but I could choose that once I'm there. Alright, and then I'm going to hit save page. Okay. And then the last thing I want to show is just if I want to add a new page, right, I could basically ask a question in two different ways. If I choose to add a new page, it's a question page. What I could do is choose what kind of question I want. So I might get some sort of multiple choice question, or I might want some sort of essay or matching or true false, anything like that. And I'll just choose essay in this case. And this will just be my essay. I can put my instructions in here. And once they submit their essay, in this case, I can have them jump to the next page. Or what I could even do is say that whenever they give me their feedback, it's the end of the lesson. So I could just say jump to the end of the lesson. I can change if I want to give them a score on Moodle, or if I just want to have a rubric off to the side somewhere or on a physical piece of paper. And I could hit save page. Right now, I can see that I have my first slide that goes to the next page. I have my content page, which can either go back to the first slide or go to the next slide. And then I have an essay, which the students would physically type in the lesson, and it would take them to the end of the lesson then. You can continue to add pages. If you choose to add a page from this beginning slide, it's going to basically put it between that beginning slide and the content 1 page. And you can basically set up a lesson however you want. So your task is basically to make a lesson from something that you already do, but that you could put it online, so that way you could maybe flip it, or you could have something where you could change the way that you're running your class time and doing this independent learning on their own. Once you're finished working on your lesson, what you can do is just go up here and click on the name of your course. And when you go into that lesson now, so I'll just click on it for example, I'm in preview mode. So you can basically go through this as a student and just see what they're seeing. So here's our first slide with our next button. The next page has content. Alright, with a picture. I can either choose to go back or go to the next. And then My last page just had instructions, and then it gave a space for the students to answer questions. If you didn't like the way it looked, you could go back to that page to edit. Okay, you could look at reports to see what students submitted their essay or what students got through the lesson, or you could actually go to physically grade the essays as well. Alright, so this basically takes you through how to do everything with it, and for more information on lessons you can click on the link provided for lessons earlier in the course.